African Americans have had a long history in the media, dating all the way back to 1920 when they made their debut as radio hosts. Back then, though, they were seen as comical and unintelligent. The African American community in smaller markets were seen as diamonds in the rough, such as certain slots in WDIA in Memphis. This made an impact on the entirety of the radio market, as in 1929, Jack L. Cooper got a big marketing gig hosting the all-Negro Hour on WSBC in Chicago. At this point, though, only 0.6% of radio hosts were African American. This changed on July 26, 1969, when the FCC announced rules that directly forbade licensees from discriminating in hiring based on race, color, religion, or national origin. About a year later, they passed rules that required stations to file an annual report documenting their efforts to hire African Americans. But has it gotten any better? Are African Americans being represented fairly in today's media world? The answer really depends on who you ask, but for Kyle Wallace of Good Karma Brands and 101.7 The Truth FM, he thinks we can do much better.
And I still see a lack of diversity just overall in the broadcasting field when I look around where I work at, but then also I look around other radio stations as well. There's a new radio station, not new. They brought back, I think The Fan, a radio station got brought back to Milwaukee recently. Those stations don't have diversity either, right? Like there's a lot, everybody likes to talk sports, right? But when I look at who's on the host of those new stations or the station they brought back, the producers of those stations, they don't look like me, right?
Today, radio reaches about 82% of African Americans, while only 5.7% of radio hosts are African American. Is it industry bias? Is it lack of opportunity? Or is it something else entirely? Wallace gives his take.
I feel like there's a lot of individuals that have some type of access or opportunity at a college or a university. But for me, when I look at my journey, the only reason I have my journey is because there was somebody named Josh Goldberg who listened. He worked at the Hog in Janesville. He was an alum from Whitewater, and he got me connected, right? Like if I was just to submit my application in a pool, would it have been one they grabbed? I'm not 100% sure. Do we have enough people, unfortunately, who don't look like us to be able to vouch for us to put us in a position like I was put in to get that opportunity, right? So I think the most important one is industry bias because that's the one that allows for people to open up the door.
Wallace touched on an important point. College campuses. The University of Wisconsin-Whitewater has many media outlets, including UW-TV and 91.7 The Edge FM. But do these organizations do a good job of not only having diversity, but making sure everyone has equal opportunities? Freshman Nadiri Morgan-Thompson thinks he is very lucky to be a part of such an inclusive campus.
They do a really good job of meeting all bases, and I think it's really important to just give opportunities to everybody who you see something in. But it's also why I really like a school like Whitewater, because though I go to a PWI and it's a lot of white people, I feel like I belong here. I feel like I've been given fair opportunities for things that I want to do. So my education has definitely opened my eyes, but being here has made me think that a lot of things that I want to do are more possible.
Does representation mean a lot to the African American community? Does it really matter to them that they continue to flip through channels on the radio and TV stations and see or hear mostly white voices? Well, for both Wallace and Morgan-Thompson, they feel seeing people like them has fueled their passion and led them to find their inspiration in the media world.
I mean, it means a lot because when you do come from a community where you are a minority and the majority of the things that you see are not you, it means a lot when you see somebody like you. But the fact that Steve Haywood looked like me, it gave me somebody that I can say, okay, he can tell me how he did it, right? And again, I can ask anybody how it is, but something about just in general, when you are a minority, you want to help others after you to get those opportunities because one thing you understand is that sometimes those opportunities won't come. So representation means a lot. And I know for a fact, when I do go on ESPN, I understand that when I utilize my voice, I'm not just utilizing my voice to talk sports. I'm legitimately representing a whole community. And so that's something I take great pride in and I'm mindful of is the fact that I've been given an opportunity that many other people wish that they had.
I think it's very important. I mean, I think it's really important for the youth. There is just a lack of relatability to the old white man who's saying outlandish sports takes and somebody who looks a little bit more like me or is at least younger. So I feel like that's another thing is that not only is it predominantly not black people, but it's also predominantly old people. So if you're young and a person of color, or specifically black, then it seems like a really uphill battle.
Lack of diversity is a clear issue in the media world, but is there anything that can be done? Stations like 101.7 The Truth in Milwaukee provide a channel for what is referred to as Black Talk Radio, which also embraces the African American community in Milwaukee. They give real and honest insight where Wallace serves as the Director of Community Relations.
1017 The Truth is a Black Talk radio station in Milwaukee. So, for our goal overall, it is to resonate as many voices as possible in the Black community and amplify those voices. Because, as you just said, lack of diversity in radio from the La Crosse area, but also when you look here in Milwaukee as well, there is quite a bit of lack of diversity when it comes to voices and opinions here. I work at a company, Good Karma Brands, that in 2018 acquired 620 WTMJ, which is the largest radio station in the state. And no Black voices. We haven't had too many individuals, especially individuals who didn't play in the NFL, on air. So for us, we're not a sports radio station. We are a news talk personality station, and we just talk about local issues that impact the community, but also national topics that impact us as a whole. Just making sure people are updated and educated on everything they need to know. But in addition to that, allow for a platform for fans to call in, engage in the conversation, and then also allow for politicians and local officials to come on the station and talk directly to the community that they impact. So we see ourselves as an opportunity to amplify many voices, but provide information and entertainment as well to our community. But from a Black perspective, something you just don't get in Wisconsin, but more importantly, unfortunately, you don't get across this country either.
Diversity in media may not be fixed today, tomorrow, or even in the next year, but making small strides towards getting that percentage higher would mean more African Americans on TV screens and radio channels across the state and nationwide.
I think if you have the fair access to opportunities and you show that you have talent and you show that you're likable and you're charismatic on TV, on the radio, whatever that is, then it shouldn't really matter what that sector of the internet or the sector of fans thinks, as long as you're talentful. I think a lot of people think that just because you're a person of color, you can't be qualified, and because they're white, they're more qualified. But I think in general, those are old-fashioned stereotypes, and in 2025, anybody can do anything. So I think as long as you have the talent and everything like that, it shouldn't matter.